What is up, guys? Welcome back to WP Builder Helper. It's your host, Patrick, and today we're going to be revising one of my oldest tutorials that I've been working on, and that is the one with the Woocommerce and Oxygen store. We had started working on it, and in the beginning, that was one of the first times I had started working on a store with Oxygen. So I learned a lot by working on that store. They had a lot that I did wrong with those videos. I've left them up, and they continue today to get comments, which are both good and bad. Sometimes I get some bad comments because I talked a little bit too much. So in this, we're going to be building a store which is going to be called Cafe Java, as you would expect. This is a coffee store, and we'll be building it out from beginning to end and really padding it out and making sure that we have everything we need. As you can see right now, I wanted to go over the details of what I've done so far. I've obviously installed the WooCommerce plugin. I've put in the back information that I want on there. We've also got a sample footer with some color schemes. We've got a sample header, which we're going to use. And we've also got the shop page, which has some generic data. So that's basically all we've done. We've also done some management of some settings. So for instance, they have global styles. We've done some font management. So we've got Bitter and Open Sans as our fonts. And then if you go back, we've got some colors that we have, which is our global colors here, which I've promptly named dark coffee, medium roast, light roast. And then we've got some basic generic colors that I wanted to use that I picked from a color palette outside of what I was going to do in Oxygen. So let's get started. This is the page essentially of what we're going to be building. But obviously the home page, we don't want it to look like this. So we're going to take and I'm going to walk you through building all of this. If you don't know how to build this, I would suggest going to check Oxygen tutorials to get to this first step. It's really relatively simple. It probably took me about 10 minutes to draft this up. I think it takes a longer time to come up with the names of your colors and doing all of that. And other than that, this is basically, like I said, a header, a footer, and then this is an inside inner content module. So that's all you really have that's here. There's not much else that's here. But what we want to do is we want to build out some pages, and in those pages, I want to incorporate the products similar to what you would find in a coffee shop. So if you were looking for something, say you were trying to buy a coffee, there's many popular brands out there. But if we were to take and look for something like, I think there's Death's Head Coffee. It's one that I see all the time. You know, we want to build a website that's similar basically to these guys. In essence, not necessarily this website, but something that basically registers with somebody who's interested in coffee. So this is a pretty good website. It's a little bit dark, but that's kind of their brand, and that's what they want to do. That's a really cool video that they added there. And it's got some big fonts and stuff like that. So that's what coffee brands are all about. There's not a lot of content. It's mostly images and pictures and things like that. But here's what we're looking to basically get is something similar to this, where we've got like this dark roast coffee, the dark roast death cups, you know, these different things where you got medium roast, dark roast, because there's all different coffees. And people like seeing that and they like buying those things. So in essence, it would be similar to this where we'd have a shopping cart and we'd, you know, have all the things that we want. But right now, all we have is this. So Cafe Java has a long way to go before it gets to that point, because it is, in this scenario, a coffee and selling coffee shop is what we're basically doing. So let's take and start working. We've already got basically our inner contents. Now we can take and start working on the pages. So we've already saved this, but we'll go back to WP and we'll take and go into the admin area and take a look at what we're going to come up with. So in here, you'll see we've got our cart, checkout, account page, refund policy, shop page, and all of that. So these are all basic pages that WooCommerce puts in case you didn't know. Once you basically load WooCommerce, it'll basically insert these pages for you, which are default pages, which if you view For the most part, they should still come up, but you'll see that it's very unstyled. It doesn't even match the same color scheme as what you're going for. And so there's a lot of customization that you would have to do to get to these pages, like to make them look like they should. So that's what we're going to be working on, is making our pages look correct. And then not only doing that, but taking and going back and making sure that these pages are included in our system so that we're not just using some generic pages. So in essence, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be overriding some of these pages, because we may not want the cart page to look the way the cart page does right now, or the checkout page to look the way the checkout page does, or even the account page. Like, this is a boring account page. It's great that you could do this, but it kind of sucks if you don't go in and you don't edit it. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to build these from scratch. So let's do that. We're going to start with that, and we'll start building our pages. All right, so Oxygen has a unique ability that you may or may not know about. So we're going to go into the account page, and I'm going to take and I'm going to show you something. If you're brand new or you're struggling with basically learning WooCommerce and Oxygen, this is something that you need to know. You can go and you can actually customize these pages. So for instance, I've already customized the colors of this page, and most of that customization, believe it or not, is not done in this template area that you would think. So if you're struggling and you see different colors in here and here and here, and you're wondering, well, I don't understand, why are these colors coming up? Why, I'm changing them in here and I'm not seeing what I want to see. Well, that's because if you go to manage and you go to settings and you go to global styles, you'll find under here, once you've taken and you've added WooCommerce, you will have buttons, links, inputs, text, notifications, miscellaneous, and even widgets. And in here, specifically the links colors, you want to take and change them to the color scheme that you're using for whatever you're doing. So once you've done that, it makes this whole entire process a lot easier. Now, keep in mind, when I first did this page, I'll actually show you how I did it. So what I'll do is I'm going to actually physically delete the My Account, and you'll be greeted to this same exact kind of setting where you basically have to add an element. So what we do is we go in here and we pick WooCommerce, and we're going to pick the My Account, and you just click on it. And if you've done that right and you've changed the colors and everything, it takes a second. It's a little bit slower on my system, but for the most part, it'll come up, and there you go. And you can see now that the colors are already added. That is pretty awesome. So you don't even have to add any or change the colors in any of these. You can just do it from the manage and the settings and just go in here and literally change your buttons, change just any setting that you're looking for, links, inputs, all of those type of things that you probably want to change anyway, just because you want them to be whatever colors you want them to be. So once you've done that, you can save this, and let's go back to WP. So we're going to go back to the admin section because we've already saved this page. So this page is good. And you can see it's kind of got the short code. All of these pages are going to have short code. So if we go to the checkout page, let's go to the checkout page. Let's see what that is. Now, keep in mind, right now, all we're really doing is basically making sure that they're actually working the way that we want them to work. Once we've got all of that down, we're going to go in and customize the page by giving them some images and things like that. Just something to make them stand out a little bit more than they currently do. Something that gives them a little bit more of a flair. So in this case, I don't know what has happened to here. I guess I'm not even sure why the checkout page did this. It like defaulted to this. Cart's empty. I wonder why it did that. That's interesting. Let's exit out of that. Let's go to another cart. Let's choose the cart page. Let's see what the cart page looks like. I'm wondering if the checkout page is going to, or the cart page is going to do the same thing that the checkout page just did. It shouldn't. Yeah, it didn't. So this is the cart page. So in the cart page, we want to go in here. We want to pick WooCommerce, and just like the other one, you want to go to add shopping cart, and just like WooCommerce, you'll notice that there's colors that the colors aren't matching. Like you're seeing this blue and everything, and that's not that surprising because once again, these are pulling from the default settings of WooCommerce. So all we should have to do is go into WooCommerce and find wherever this miscellaneous or this blue is, and it should be in here. It's most likely this info color. So we'll go into this info color, we'll change it, and boom, there you go. You can see right there, we'll change it to more of an orange just to stand out, just to match a little bit better. And then you've got an error color. We should probably change these two. The error color will make dark, and message color will say as more of this color. All right, perfect. So we'll save that, and now this is saved. So now we can take and we can go back into it. And the next thing we're probably going to want to do is we're probably going to want to physically add a cart. Like, let's see what's going on with the checkout page. I'm not sure why the checkout page did that. It may be just something that I'm not sure of. I may have to come back to it and revisit it. I'm assuming it's doing that because it's, well, no, it kind of fails miserably. Checkout is not available while your cart is empty. Checkout is not available while your cart is empty. I guess it's just something when you're designing the checkout page. I mean, that's not a big deal. Privacy policy. Let's go to the shop page. Let's edit the shop page and let's see what that looks like. Most likely it's an error with local. Oxygen and local, especially with WooCommerce, has some weird things with it that doesn't necessarily work the way it should. So be warned when you're working on a local development. As you can see, this is a shop page and it's just kind of showing you what it looks like. It's exactly what I want. But we can go in and if we really wanted to, we could customize this shop page to do it however we want to do it. If we wanted to change the way that the pictures worked, or if we want to add in our own shop page, we could do that. But for this preview, we're not going to do that. We're just going to be building a WooCommerce page. And the whole purpose of it is to build this Cafe Java out and just kind of go from there. So the shop page is looking good also. So that is really fantastic. So it's good to know that our single product listing will work the way it's supposed to. So now let's go in, let's go back to the front end. Let's add some links to our website. Since right now this is currently using, let's see, is it gonna let me? Okay, it doesn't seem like, it seems like it's stuck. Let's see. So we'll go back in, let's go back to the dashboard and let's go to appearance and menus. So right now, our menu is basically generic links. And what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to pick pages. So we're going to want to create a menu. So we'll say main menu. And we're going to add this menu. And then we can basically pick our shop page, our account page. I don't think we need the cart page or the checkout page. We can add them. And let's see, anything else? Lost password, log out, account details, orders, nope, 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 nope. Okay, perfect. So let's save this menu. And let's go back to our main theme. So we're going to have to go back to the theme to make an edit to the actual menu, because I'm pretty sure the menu for the most part is either text, or I'm not sure how they originally set it up for the template that we're using, but it's basically going to be some text or something along those lines. And we're going to want to go back and we're going to want to change that menu. So it actually already updated. Awesome. So I'm thinking rather than contact us over here, I'm thinking of turning this into a sign in account. And also wanted to change this because the WooCommerce has a weird thing with their buttons where their buttons are actually like, their buttons are just set a little bit differently. Like our border radius is set to that, and WooCommerce is set more to like 4 pixels. So I want to keep it at 4, keep it kind of standard with WooCommerce. I like the way that that works. I don't like the way, one thing I don't like about this is how hard it is to read the contact us. I want to change that state of the button. Let me go back and change the text color to this so it's a little bit easier to read. And then on rollover, that should be it. Wait, let me select it again. Hover, text, yeah. So that should be it, original. Yep. But I don't know why it's not actually, it's probably because it's got this green button state to it, but hover color, that should be it. Text color right there. It's like something's overriding it, which is really strange. Link settings. It's a bit strange. I don't know why it keeps defaulting after I've made the change. It should automatically make that change once you've done it, but I guess for some reason it's not. Maybe because I'm on the original state. That's probably what it is. I'm a doofus. When you're on the original state, it goes back and forth. It's showing you exactly what it's doing. Okay. So that's fine. So the menu is already kind of adjusted. We're going to change this rather than to that. We're going to change this to sign. Let's see, sign in, maybe sign in. And we also want to add something to the side of this. So something that I would like to add to this is an actual like WooCommerce like button that shows the actual cart. So I don't know if that would be cart total. We can try that. We can try inserting that in this div. So let's pick the div itself, and then let's pick cart total, and let's see if it inserts the cart like it should. Or if I'm going to, okay, so it did insert the cart. Pretty awesome. So it's showing you the price. And of course, we want to adjust this color, make it a white, which we'll just use Atomic's colors. As you can see, we've got Proteus, Atomic. It's grabbing colors from everything that we've used, and we haven't changed them. That's not the right way to do things, but in this, it's going to be the way that we end up doing it. So we want to add some padding to the left and right of this just to give it a little bit of space. Maybe 20 and then 20 from the side. I don't know if that's good. Well, I guess we don't need 20 at the end. It wouldn't make any difference because there's nothing at the end of it. Yeah, just something like that where you can see the cart total. I like that. Of course, we've got breadcrumbs that we can add to everything also. So if we wanted to go in and do that, we can add in breadcrumbs. I'm pretty happy with this, though. I'm pretty happy the fact that we at least have a shopping cart, something that shows you your total. You've got your sign in, and so this is actually going to go to a different page. Right now, it's not going to a page that it's set up to sign in. So let's go do that also. So we're going to go back to the admin section, and we're going to create a login page. So this is going to be like just basic, I guess we'll just call it sign in. Well, I guess it should be split. So we'll go ahead and publish this. And after we publish this and we save it, you got to do a refresh. And then we can edit with Oxygen. And on this page, we're going to put in a actual physical WordPress login to our coffee shop. So usually you could do that with, you could do it with a bunch of different ways. You could do it with a pop-up box. You could do it with anything like that. But the whole point is to have some kind of sign-in that you could just have where somebody can literally log into the site. And I don't know if that's part of WooCommerce. I want to see if that's part of it. I don't think it is. I don't think they have like a sign-in button. I think that's part of it. You have my account, but my account is not what we want. We actually want a sign-in, which is probably in the basics somewhere, I gotta guess. Code block helpers. It's probably in WordPress. Login form. So that's probably what we want. Yep. So that's what we want. And we would want to also make sure that we have like, let's add something to this, because so far this is really looking quite boring. So we're going to add this. We're going to add an image to it. We've already got an image library. Maybe something along the lines of this. It's a pretty big image, but we can take and we can actually go in and cut down the height of this image pretty severely just to make it like less of a tall image. We could do 75. I don't think that's doing anything. Let's go view height. But see, then that makes it a little bit smaller. I mean, it's disappointing, but we could definitely do it like that. I don't really like that though. I think that's too much space just for that one image. We may have to cut down on that image. I know I have several other images that we could use. I tell you what, I think this one's a rather long one, but I don't mind the view height being something like 100%. And then what we do is we could do basically like columns. So this could be, okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to drop 2 columns on top of this. We're going to do a 50-50. And so now we've got our 2 columns. So now the process becomes that we need to move these 2 into columns. So we want to move this here. I'd rather have it on this side. And we're going to move this image. We're going to move this up. So we're going to move it up here. Although dragging it to the very top of this is going to be a pain. So let's use the structure panel because that's going to be much, much easier. So we're going to go in our column. And we can already see we've got our login form in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to just drag this into the div that we want it in, which in this case is not letting us get into this div. This is one of the bigger issues. There's probably easier ways to do this, and I know somebody's just saying like, oh my God, you're such an idiot. But sometimes moving these divs, and I find this with all the builders, it's not just with Oxygen, so I don't get angry with Oxygen, but sometimes moving these it's just, there we go. It's a real pain getting it in. Also notice that the view height looks off, so I'm going to leave that as that. That looks a little bit too tall. Let's set it as maybe 50, maybe 65. I want it a little bit bigger. And we'll go in and we'll also set this to where it's aligned right because I'd rather align it to the right so that you can, I don't know, you get something to it. It's just kind of like right up next to it. It's got weird white space over here, but at the end of the day, it'll work. Now, the one thing I don't like is I don't like this button. If we're trying to make everything similar, then we want our button to basically look the same as everything else. So I think we should go with that type of button. And then we'll choose our state. We'll go to hover. And we'll change the button color to something like that. And then we'll exit off of hover, go back to the original. So actually this button color, that's interesting. The button color doesn't actually work like that. It doesn't let you choose a state from this. Huh, interesting. Well, that's all right. That's not a big deal. It's more annoying than a big deal, but you would think that they would have a floater for that, something that you could just change. Global colors, we'll keep the global colors the way they are. You know, this box has also got some default spacing in it. That's not my favorite. I mean, I could butt it up, but it doesn't matter. This isn't technically butted up anyway. Let's save that. Let's take a look at it on the front end, and that's fine. So this is just the sign-in page. You know, that's all it's there for. So let's go back. Let's grab our link. So sign in, we view it. We could have just saved it, I guess. And let's go back to Oxygen. Let's add our templates. Let's edit them. And from here, we're going to take and we're going to go in and we're going to add this link. And then that's going to be it for this video. So this is a very quick video. I'm not going to make these super long. And I am going to break this up. On the next video, we're going to be tackling the shop page, specifically going through and customizing it, and possibly the home page will be the video after that. So the thought process will be that we're going to go in and we're going to customize some more of this and just make it look just a little bit more than what it currently does, you know. So we're going to go to sign in. Let's add link. Let's save it. Let's go back to the front end. Let's test it. Let's go here. So this is going to the main page, which of course doesn't work. We could go to the shop page, which we can see that does work. All of these products actually let me in. We go to the sign in page. We've got the sign in. We can go to the My Account page, which the My Account page will take you to this when you're logged in. And you can see that now these are all the correct colors and everything, which is nice. And you've got just the basic stuff. So this is exactly what we wanted. I mean, we're just basically customizing this to fit whatever we want. Hopefully you guys have learned something. If you have any questions about this, or you want me to go over something else in the next video, just let me know and I would be happy to go over it. All right, until next time, I will see you guys later.